So let's join my talk with Swizz Beatz. We address not just African American art, but why art is significant now and how Swizz and his family collect and support the arts in this period. So, to what extent does art matter now in this time of coronavirus, economic upheaval, strained race issues in America? Why art at this point?
Well, I feel that art has always been the other language of expressing. And, look at what is being painted in the street. That's an art visual. Look at what is being painted in the sky. That's an art visual. Look at what's being painted in our hearts and our minds. Those are art visuals as well. And I feel that art has always been important, especially when you're going through confusing times and sad times and trying times. Art, for some reason, it just gives life. Whether it's visual arts, whether it's music, it just gives people some inspiration to stand on that everybody can relate to just from looking or just from hearing. And so I think it's pretty powerful during this time. I think that we're going to actually witness a lot of new artists coming from this time as well, because a lot of artists got a chance to sit back and take a lot of things in and say, you know what, I have time, I can't go nowhere. Let me apply this method, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's writing, you name it, whether it's photography. I think out of all of this is gonna come so many new artists, and the artists that we already know, I think that it just made them go back in and charge their batteries up again.
I thought post-Trump, post-election, we would see sort of a bigger impact of that in art making. And I didn't really see it. Maybe I'm more in the established part of the art world and the art business. I kind of thought I would see more artists addressing it. Maybe they were like reacting towards beauty, towards a personal feeling. Do you feel that now it's a bit different than that of 4 years ago?
As far as artists responding to what's going on, I don't feel that it's as high as I thought it would be. I thought that it would be a lot of more artists speaking up louder, to be honest. But, when times get real like this, artists kind of duck low, regroup, kind of watch the landscape. A lot of people are posting, but I'm talking about, activations, but then also there's not also, can't really go out and do those activations you might want to do, and a lot of people might not be savvy on how to do it online. A lot of people might not understand how to go out there. Maybe they feel like they're risking their life because, everything that's going on. So I see a lot of artists being quiet during this time, to be honest.
Your TED Talk on creativity, I thought was really powerful and poignant. And John and Mark, I really recommend you go and watch it. Is there a way you synthesize that in a little bit of what you were expressing with so much emotion at that time?
Is what I really feel, coming from music and starting from the Bronx, not really understanding business, not really understanding any market, art market, fashion market, music market. I just understood creativity and having fun. And then I realized that a lot of artists' rights were different than the rights that I have as an artist. Like I get paid royalties, I get publishing, and my work is a continuous activation in my life. Like I live with my work since I've started it at 18, 17, 18. And to know that an artist painting, once that artist painting leaves them for that one-time price, that's it. I just don't think that that's fair.
That's been an argument that's been going on for 40 or 50 years about artist resales. I happen to love your sentiment for it. I think it only serves mostly the rich artists who've already succeeded and not the other 3 million artists there. In fact, it might suppress the desire for people to buy their work. I like the sentiment of it. I'm not sure that that's really the solution, but it's like, it's more of a baseline transaction. I give you this painting, you give me X dollars. A little different than I'm hearing you on the radio, I'm watching you on the show. I mean, this would be a full show just on that discussion.
Yeah. I mean, with the Dean's Choice, it's just a start. It's definitely not the end all solution. But my thing is, you know, let's start somewhere. I also have technology for the masses that are not trading at auction and these different things, which, you know, is called smart collection, you know, which is based off of no commissions as well. My platform, and it's more educational based, and it's more about sustainability, like how to depend on yourself to get the results you want. And, you know, yeah, you can use a gallery, you can use whatever you want, but have the tools you need to make that decision proper, you know, not just by default because it's the thing to do and everybody say it's cool. You know, understand why it works for you so you can then negotiate better terms. You can negotiate things that you're happy with. And I feel that they both play a part. You know, the Dean's Choice at auctions play a part. That's, you know, it's your choice whether you want to be a patron of the arts or not.
Well, I like your phrase of patron of the arts. It's like, in this lockdown period, how have you been affected as a collector because you are a major collector, or as a patron of the arts, which is, I think, a key component of what you've done? Do you see those separately or together? And how have you been, you know, in the 5 months you've been locked up at home with your family, looking at art online? Have you been more activated, less, and in which ways?
Well, I've been more activated with up and coming artists that I know that these times are really hard on them. So I've been supporting a lot of up and coming young artists that was just about to get to that next level, and then COVID hit, and it just kind of stopped a lot of their plans. So I've been doing those type of things. Then at home, I created something called Verses, which is a musical celebration that brings two artists together to celebrate each other with hits. And that's been massive. We won a Webby Award off of it. Just got a BET Acknowledgement Award off of it as well. And, you know, getting over 1 billion impressions per episode. And it's been good because what it's been doing was raising awareness on artists that people forgot about, musical artists that people forgot about, raising their catalog streams, raising their identity, introducing them to this generation, and also connecting them with this generation. So now, you know, you have a amazing artist like Babyface teaming up with a younger artist to make some new magic. And it was something that I just started out of fun, and now it turned into, you know, a partnership with Apple and you name it.
What do you make of the explosion in the last few years of the collecting of Black artists or African-American artists in particular, and the effect of the auctions on them, on their galleries, what's going on? I will say that's an area I've been active in over 30 years myself, and following that, and it resonates to me. But how do you feel about what's going on, particularly as we're talking about the auction world, to some degree of...
I mean, I feel like I was a part of that also, bringing awareness to this side of the demographics, and, you know, with no commissions and giving people the entry point, and, you know, making purchases public, you know, on purpose, when usually I would be more quiet about my purchases. I was like, you know what, people should see these purchases and these records being broken, these things, to know that it's okay for us to support our culture, you know. And
it's
a lot
great,
of people,
the change of Black supporting Black culture, women supporting art by women. I remember standing in Sotheby's, what was it, a year or two ago? You were in the front row, I think, maybe 10 feet from me. And then the Kerry James Marshall that sold for over 20 million, that I'm sure you had a lot to do with that. I mean,
yeah.
That's the significant change.
Yeah. Yeah, and I bought the Lynette that day as well. I mean, it was a big night. It was a big night. And the market hasn't went down since that night, you know, not that I've noticed. And, you know, the thing is just keeping the momentum, but I'm not just a collector of African and African-American art. I'm an art collector, period. You know, I have a very diversified portfolio in the Dean collection, but I just wanted to focus on that area because a lot of my peers weren't focusing on that area like they should. And I would go to other people's houses that weren't directly in the culture, and I would be thrilled at their collection. And I'm like, man, like, you know, we don't even have none of these things in our collection, and we're chasing the wrong thing. And I just wanted to change the narrative a little bit. But, you know, when I do interviews, they always like to use the word, you know, one of the biggest African-American Black collectors and all those different things. I don't look at myself as that. I look at myself as a patron of the arts and the collective period, although I ramped up in African and African-American arts in our collection because we just didn't have enough.
Well, it becomes interesting when an artist like Sam Gilliam is placed in that. And Sam has made a point of saying, I'm an abstract artist. I'm not a Black abstract artist. And it's like, I get tired of seeing a press release from a gallery. We've just signed a Black artist, a woman artist. I don't see any press releases saying, we just signed this white artist. So exactly. I think they're like being forced into categories when the main category is artist.
100%.
Same in music. If I love Eminem or I love, you know, Alicia Keys, you know, it's like they're both great musicians. And I'm hoping that we get to a place that's, you know, I think it's taken this moment in the collecting. We need to get to a place perhaps where the infrastructure of the art world and the art business is more.
I agree.
And that'll be the time when that discussion becomes a little less forced.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a box checked. It should be something that is being done because it's supposed to be done. You know, and that's why those titles are coming up, because people want other people to know that, you know, they're doing the right thing. Well, if you're doing the right thing, just do the right thing. You know, and don't put artists and people in boxes, because sky's not the limits, it's just the view. You know, there's footprints on the moon supposedly. So why should the skies be our limits? You know, or anybody's limits. And I just feel that that's small mind thinking, and I feel that, you know, whether you collect, from wherever you collect, you're a collector, you're a patron of the arts. I'm not a Black collector. Like, I don't even know what that means.
So you like saying, I bet if I put on I don't know, George Jones song, you would dig it, right? You would say, that guy
Absolutely.
could, you know, okay, it's country music. Or in the same way, if I'm hearing whatever, it's like, I think we have to train our ears and our eyes to look a little more broadly.
I agree.
So
I agree
with that in mind, with this auction coming up, and we're kind of like the NFL Today, this show, Hammer, it's like, you know, if you could channel are you a football fan?
Not right now.
Not a Jets fan like me or something. To channel your inner Phil Simms and sort of pick an artist from this sale coming up that either you have your eye on as a work of art you think the market might react to out of this sale. Doesn't have to be a Black artist either.
Well, what's your top 5 in the sale?
Well, geez, then I'm going to go David Hammond's, because I've been a fan.
I like that piece. I like that piece. That's a good piece.
I mean, the Rockettes are probably his most collectible piece.
Yeah.
And I've been looking to work close to 30 years.
Wow.
The Ruche is kind of like much better in person than it is on the screen.
The Ruche was amazing too.
But name one. Do you have one that's in mind that's maybe not so obvious?
I'm a Lynette fan always.
Good moment for women artists too, right?
Yeah, big moment, and me and my wife definitely been supporting that side, and I feel like in our collection, we want to have equal males and females in the collection. That's something that we really pride ourselves on, is having the collection represent, you know, almost 50-50, if not 50-50, or if not, you know,
Well, one
the
day
other way
you
around.
mom's work. She has a big show at Pace in the fall, a show at Dia in the spring, that shows at the Whitney. So I was raised by women artists. So
Yeah, I got pink on right now.
okay, you can handle it. So it's been great that you're joining. Thank you for watching this extended version, and please check out all the extended versions that are both on YouTube and on our website.